ahead and get started. If you haven't already, there's an attendance code up on the TVs and screens and stuff. So please go ahead, fill that out. Just scan that QR code just so you can get like numbers and then get your Discord and stuff, which I'll send you later.
Yeah. So I just want to say thank you for coming on out to the Bobcat Aerospace first meeting. I just want to say this is like amazing to see as somebody who's been here in this club for 3 years. And if you don't know me, I am the president ever Sweet. And I just want to say welcome. I mean, we have 70 or 80 people in this room right now. Last year it was 35. So I really hope this continues on. So if you haven't already, there's an attendance, and it's are no doubt aware the jokes literally write themselves about how many engineers does it take to change a light bulb. Those switches are some of the most confusing things in the world. I'll pull this back up later after the meeting. So if you haven't captured it, it's all good. So we're just gonna get right into it. About us, about Bobcat Aerospace. Bobcat Aerospace is Texas State's premier high-powered rocketry club. So if you don't know what high-powered rocketry is, have you ever flown a model rocket at a park? Raise your hand. Anybody? Okay, I see a few people. That's good. That's good. We take that a step further. As you can see here, that's Trailblazer. This is our first club rocket. And this is something we produced last year as a team with 5 people. I want to continue that growth. So we take it a step further, and what we fly are L3 level 3 class rockets. So the little ones you guys flew back in the day were what are called our model rocket motors. You can buy them off the shelf. They're easy to get. The ones we fly here as a club, and we are funded by the university to do so, we fly motors that you have to be certified to buy. So building off of that success of last year with Trailblazer, we plan to go to literally greater height, bigger and greater heights faster than we've ever gone before. So, and we plan to do that with the help of all of you. So, not only do we do these deep technical challenges where we are building out new technologies and building out new technologies and doing various advancements to just engineering in general. We also want to make sure it's a place for you guys as the Ingram School of Engineering, a place for you to learn. What is the point of going to engineering school if you're not going to learn how to engineer? Because engineering is more than just solving the numbers and crunching the numbers and doing the math. It's about figuring out unique solutions to individual problems, working at that problem with a team of people until you get a solution. So by doing that, we here at the club, we aim to give you a foundation to learn off of. Because we fully admit this can be a pretty daunting thing to learn. Some of the returning members here who are here right now fully understand this, that our process in the past was pretty difficult to get into. You didn't really know what we were doing. So we're going to change that this year. This year, we're going to formalize our education into distinct classes where you sit down and you learn. I know you guys don't want to hear any more about classes and learning, but I promise you these were fun. So we'll get down to that later. And so the clicker doesn't work. I keep forgetting that. So gaining new knowledge, learning new techniques. That rocket is really special to me because up until then, the largest rocket Texas State has ever built was made with almost entirely commercial components. That means components you can go onto online and buy. What makes this rocket so special is almost 95 of the parts on that rocket were made here in this very building. The tubes, the nose cone, the fins, all made here. And we want to go further. Our end goal is 100% in-house in this building. But to get there, we're going to need a lot of help because these rockets are more than just a motor, a parachute, and then the rocket itself. They are computers. They are ejection charges. They are the motors themselves. All of this, GPS trackers, all of these things are things that we want to eventually integrate into our rocket. And we fully acknowledge we're not there yet. But step by step, we will get there. So And of course, by part of that step is making sure students who are here can get their certifications. If you don't know what a certification is, it is essentially a license to be able to buy a higher level rocket motor, launch larger rockets. So you start small with a rocket no bigger than 3 feet tall, and you end up building rockets that are 10 feet tall. Could go Mach 2, go to 10,000 feet. That's where we aim to get people to go. So we work with a lot of these clubs. We're primarily under what's called the Tripoli Rocketry Association. This is the national organization that helps deal with the U.S. government and frankly the international community. We work with we're a part of them officially, and we certify under their ISAC under their guise. So what's really nice about this is even though it costs money to be in this club or this organization, not this organization, this association, what you get out of it is you get insurance mostly. You get the ability to fly these large rockets at sanctioned club launches under the guidance of experienced people safely and without liability to you, which is something that we'll cover in another class. So it's something that's just wonderful. So if it hits your car, it's covered. I had a rocket hit my car. It was really fun. So we fly, and then under them, we fly mainly under these three clubs: Tripoli, Houston. Oh wow, the trash finally collapsed. um, the Austin Area Rocketry Group, which is our main field, and then Tripoli, North Texas, is where we go all the way out to about 2 hours west of Dallas, and they have a waiver to 45,000 feet. A beautiful recovery field. I know some of the members here have been out there, and it was awesome. It was like phenomenal. So, and of course, it's fun and enriching for all students of all majors. That was launched this March. That was my personal rocket that lives. So if you were there at Welcome Week, you probably saw it. It was taller than a lot of people. That's something we're gonna build something even bigger than that. It was actually really funny. I think one of the members here, not gonna name names, actually burned their hand on that rocket motor case.
Really hot.
I don't think it was hot from the flight. I think it was physically because it's like the black motor case in the Texas sun, and you just see him shaking his hand. So it was really funny. It was like a little fun fact about that, but I forgot to fully screw down the motor retention. So as that thing was coming down and you saw the main parachute deploy, you see this expensive motor case fall out the rocket, and we literally physically saw it fall, and we knew exactly where it landed. But that was like an oh shit moment for me because that's a $200 motor case and closures. So that was really fun. So we're gonna get into a little bit about us here as a team. So we have here present right now, we have me. My name is Everest Sweet, if in case you haven't gathered that already. I am the president of Bobcat Aerospace, and I'm studying Bachelor of Science in Manufacturing Engineering. I'm slated to graduate in fall of next year. So, and then here we have Swaraj. How do you pronounce it? Swaraj Bastola, Vice President, Mechanical Engineer in 2028. Yeah, I believe I got that right. And then Pistol McCormick is our treasurer and is studying biology and biochemistry. And she's living proof that you don't need to be an engineer to be in this club. You don't. We have more things to do than just rockets. And frankly, they're just fun. You don't have to be an engineer to build a rocket. I've built rockets out of literal trash, cardboard spools and stuff. Like you don't have to be. You can just turn off your brain and make a rocket. It's kind of crazy. So a little bit about us. So we'll start from the left. I'm from Houston. I was born in Houston. I grew up there. Did a few rounds around Mexico and a few other places. I am what's called Triple Level 3 certified. That's the highest level you can get in America for certification. It's not as crazy as it sounds, but it's a lot of fun to do. I'm primarily my focus in my degree is polymers and composites with a focus on additive manufacturing. So I currently work under Dr. Jitendra Tate here in Ingram in his advanced composites lab. So you may have seen me around there, especially if you're taking one of its composites class this year. I do just a lot of the composite work. And just a little bit of fun fact, my highest altitude is 14,500 feet, Mach 1.8. And I'm about to break that by going 35,000 feet in the next few months, hopefully. And a bit more about me. I am, much to, I think, Paul's dismay, an expert at skill issuing electronics and deployment logic. I have lost so many rockets to just me being an idiot. So please check me on electronics. Um, and I am now, as of 2 Sundays ago, or 2 Saturdays ago, no, Sundays actually, yeah, Sundays, I am now the record holder for the greatest loss of electronics at the Hutto Lake. And now the guy who runs that club, Jim Jarvis, has literally like gone and texted me. They've christened it Lake Everest, and they're working on putting it on Google Maps. I am like, that is genuinely going to be a way for them to navigate to the launch site now, and that scares me. All because one of my rockets, the wind just lined up just perfectly for it to drift with like $300 worth of electronics right into a lake and drown it, and it's still out there. So I now have a lake named after myself, which is really sad. So that's just a bit about me. Um, talk about yeah, two. Okay.
Hi, I'm Soraz. I'm an international student here. I'm from Nepal. I'm triple E level 1 certified. I'm a bit luckier than Everest. My rocket landed like mere feet away from Lake Everest, so that's the good news that I had. 4,500 feet. I do not remember how high that went. I just put that Everest at 14,000. I just removed the one and just good enough. Um, I've recently started working at a lab here in Texas State. It's called a TWC lab. I get to work a lot with 3D printers. I'm getting a lot into it. I'm liking it a lot. I think I want to go into like CAD and additive manufacturing. I don't know. I'll figure that out sometimes. And it has this written if it has moving parts or needs optimization, I'm all in it. I'm working on something and I really hate it right now. So that was actually written by ChatGPT, so it doesn't know me too well, I guess. Yeah, I'm really excited to be here, build more rockets, and hopefully we'll see a lot more people this semester.
Um, okay, I'm Crystal. I'm originally from Lancaster, California, which is literally the desert. I live in Kyle now. It's like 15 minutes up the road, whatever. I'm working on my certifications, so haven't lost a rocket to Lake Everest yet. I think that's cool. I'm a Systems Go collaborate. I've been a part of Systems Go, working with them for like 5+ years. So I have 5+ years of rocketry experience. I've been doing this. This is about to be my 6th or 7th year. I don't remember. Yeah, funny 6 guys. I was a representative and live stream commentator for the Lone Star Cup, which was where we launched Trailblazer for a competition. It was basically like all college rocketry teams in Texas got together and had this really big competition. That was really fun. I got to commentate on the live stream we had for that, which is still up on YouTube. I'm really passionate about rocketry. I have a learn by doing attitude. I don't think you can learn something without like practicing or doing it hands-on. So that's why I really encourage people to stick around. Yeah, it may be boring the first couple weeks. We're not really doing much, doing classes and stuff, but it gets way more fun, trust. And I enjoy helping others learn, experience like building rockets, designing them. I think it's really fun, even if it's not something like that's your major. I'm a microbiology major. I want to go in the FBI. So it's like, what am I doing rockets? I don't know. I like it. It's fun. So I encourage y'all, if you are engineering majors or have nothing to do with that, stay. It's really fun.
And anybody who's concerned about the three-letter agencies, we literally already have the three-letter agency here. This one. So, so just a little bit about our mission is this is kind of like our kind of like blurb. Like if you can boil down what Bobcat Aerospace is all about into like 2 sentences, it's there. Our mission is our overall mission is to compete in various collegiate level rocketry competitions. More on that in a little bit. And to grow and learn techniques applicable to aerospace and rocketry and to guide the next generation of rocketeers. So I told you guys earlier, I'm graduating in a year. I want to make sure that this club continues on beyond that. And that's why we're doing all these formal like education. We want to learn. Because whenever I first joined this club 3 years ago, I knew nothing about rockets. Like just like many of y'all, the largest rocket I launched was an Estes Alpha 3. And I never recovered that. It landed in a tree when I was 7. I never recovered from that. I'm still there's a hole in my heart from that. Um, so uh and then I came to this club, I found out about this club, and I got my level 1 certification. And that bug, that just like rocketry bug just stuck with me. Like I didn't know anything. I was constantly asking questions to the other members, to some of the other guys, asking online. I was on like Reddit asking questions like, "How do I make a rocket?" I knew nothing. Okay, 3 years on, launched to 14,000 feet. I have rockets in the works that will go Mach 3, 35,000 feet. It just, you see how that just like kind of stuck. Like I just like, even throughout college, just, and I plan to continue doing rocketry after I graduate. That it's just fueled by that passion to just keep going higher and faster and do crazier things is what drives me forward. And I hope to instill that same kind of like frenzy upon all of you. I swear it's not a cult. We're not addicts, but we are friends with them. So our goal here, our inevitable goal, and I just copied that from the website, so ignore the date. Place is still the same, is to compete in IREC. So can anybody guess what IREC means? No. International Rocketry Engineering Competition or challenge. It's competition challenge or some or conference. I forget. It's one of the three. Um, so this used to be in near Truth or Consequences, New Mexico for the past like 7 years at the Spaceport America. But this year and probably continue on and continuing on, they announced this at the awards ceremony. They moved permanently to Spaceport Midland, and you might be wondering, Midland has a spaceport? Apparently they do. Apparently a bunch of companies are out there launching sounding rockets in the middle of the Pecos Desert. Okay. Um, so what IREC is every year colleges from all around the world, from literally all 7 continents, are coming here to Texas with their rockets and their engineering prowess, and they're showing off what they got. And so, and of course, there are a ton of Texas teams. Here, almost every single college here in Texas has a rocketry team. So you kind of see why I want to show them up, show that Texas State's got what it takes to compete with these teams. So when you go there, it's a very kind of arduous task to get to IREC. So you have to fill out a lot of paperwork, you have to do technical reports. It's like a proper research conference, but you get to launch rockets, which is so you're not just sitting in a booth all day. You're out in the field launching rockets. It's a lot of fun. I had the pleasure of attending this year as a spectator. And that was like just, even though I was waking up at 3 in the morning and driving for over 2 hours each way, and spending frankly an obscene amount of money on food. It was ridiculous. Prices are insane. It was just beyond fun. And it was hot, it was sandy, and I got hit by a dust devil, but I still went. As you can see, there's a lot at stake here, a lot to do. We need all hands on deck for something like that. We need people being able to do paperwork and legal document. I'm just kidding. We need dedicated people who can sit down and solve a complex problem. So we want to do everything from composites manufacturing to physical CAD and simulation design to machining, tool design, electronics, integrated circuits, programming. All of these things we need to do to really make our mark on an IREC history. That's something we want to aim. So, um, so I did a little. So you might be wondering why I asked you guys, why the hell did you guys make him like ask like, why are you guys interested for RCV form? It was for this. It was for a word cloud. I know how corny that sounds. But I just wanted to know, like, what are you guys all about? So the big one, aerospace. I wonder why. Engineering. Can't really figure that one out. Rockets. Yeah. So, but there's all the small things that, individual. This means that less than a few people out of the group who RSVP'd here, that's what matters to me the most. Is yeah, we build rockets. Yeah, we do aerospace. That's obvious. It's literally in the name. It's like it's on the package. But when people hear it's like people are interested in, industry knowledge. We plan to do industry tours. We're going to be working with SAMP and various other clubs to get positions at various aerospace companies or composite companies. Like coming up soon is a tour at CFAN, a local aerospace manufacturer here in San Marcos that makes composite fan blades. That's something you're going to get to meet industry people, get to enjoy that sort of experience. You also get to network. I reckon, for instance, IREC was more than just sitting there and talking about your rocket. It was meeting it was meeting industry professionals. A lot of companies that are hiring, like one of the major guys there is Blue Origin, SpaceX. Um, Apparently Tesla was there, which is weird. I don't know why Tesla is at the rocket troop, or I never that is beyond me, honestly. Um, and these companies will actually send employees to this competition as judges. So they get to come to your table, they get to ask you questions, and they get to talk to you and understand your not just your technology, but your method to problem solving. And then they have given jobs at through these judging things. So that's something that it's also as much of a technical conference as much as a networking event, being both able to meet with these people from industry and also meet with other college students from around the world. Whenever I went there, even as a spectator, I went there with I could say an empty phone book. And I left with like at least 20 contacts. Some people all the way in Turkey, some people in Australia. Like, you might not wonder, like, what is that going to do for my career? Whatever happens, that's the best part. So, you know, you also got down here, a big one that we're gonna start this year is programming and computer design. That's something we'll be talking about soon. I also saw that. Mechanical engineering, those type of projects. We're gonna do a lot of CAD work, a lot of integrated design. Um, and also like people. We're here, getting to make new friends, getting to get to people with a common understanding is what makes this club just so cool. Is there's one thing that we all gather around, and that's rockets. That's something we want to continue and keep doing. So this is just a little corny little word cloud I did to collect as much data as we can, and now I have your credit card information. So thank you, and I will be spending that all to Bobcat Aerospace. So what's now the elephant in the room here? What can you do in this club? So I covered that a little bit earlier, but we have many things that you can do. So we have technical and operation, and it extends from beyond operations. So we have design work, CAD, design work, development work, conceptual, start at the bottom, work your way up, design. Then you get to manufacturing the parts. Then you get to electronics and avionics, something that like a sub team will be performing. Integration. You build all these little parts of a rocket, all these little nose codes and stuff, and then you put them together. That's integration. You put them together before or at the field, or the night that 3 weeks before, or literally 2 hours before. I've seen it happen. It's crazy. But there's more than that. If that doesn't really, suit your fancy, you have business, finance, marketing, and safety and compliance. So if you like to boss people around, safety and compliance is a good one to go. You know, um, so these are all different things you can do. So for me, I'm manufacturing engineer. I do composites. But some of those videos you saw, like the first one, I'm also kind of doing the marketing for that. I'm kind of the one doing the editing. So you can see I do a lot of things. That's what if you're interested in video editing, please come and talk to me. I don't want to keep video editing. forever. But those are all the things that can be done. And because engineering is more than just, again, engineering is more than just to design a part, 3D print it, and you're done. It's develop a plan for why that part needs to be built. It develop like how much is that going to cost? What's the effort required? That's the entire engineering process. You get to do that here. And you get to justify it. And then what you get out of it is a rocket. So I don't think there's anything better than that.
Space water. Resume fodder. Resume fodder.
Oh yeah. They bring up a good point. No, I'm just kidding. It looks great on a resume. I have aced multiple interviews. Like I have had people come up to me after the interview, and they just said, "You yapping about rockets was just awesome." They love to see that passion. They ask like, "What do you do for fun?" I do rockets. I do engineering for fun because I'm passionate about this stuff. May not be the best at math, but I love rockets, and I can talk endlessly about it like I'm doing right now. So, if you want something that looks great on a resume, join this club. So, we're going to get to our main project here. I'm just going to take a quick sip of water. So, this is going to continue off of the legacy and the continuation of Trailblazer. So, you can notice the theme of the name here. These are names I came up with while taking a shower. So, we'll continue on. So Trailblazer was the first almost fully in-house rocket. We literally blazed the trail. A lot of the people here who are returning worked on that rocket. Learned new experiences. We're gonna take that a step further. Trailblazer was 3.5 inches in diameter. Weird number. We used PVC pipe. It was very, very jank. And it weighed 25 pounds and it went only about 5,000 feet. We're gonna do better this year. We're going to build something called the IREC standard. So what that means is it's going to be a 6-inch diameter rocket, carries a 4.4 payload, 4.4 pound payload, 10,000 feet. And this could be this university's largest rocket to date. And of course, next year, I don't know what's next year, but it's going to be a bigger rocket, or a faster rocket, more ambitious rocket. The year after that is going to be crazier. Maybe one of these days we'll reach space. That's my hope. I'll be long gone. But I want you guys who joined this club to sit there and work on those to make sure you have the foundation. So Hot Stepper will be about 6 inches in diameter, approximately 10 feet tall, and carry a payload, a CubeSat payload to that altitude. And we still don't know what it is. We're still in a very preliminary phase on this, but that's what we want to do. So we have kind of a tentative plan of what we're doing here. Is right now, we are in the preliminary design phase. This is where senior members of the club are kind of working together, just kind of like working on the plan for this rocket. And we will, as the semester progresses, we will finalize that plan and go into what's called preliminary design review. This is going to be a very quite formal event where we do a public meeting. It's going to be live streamed. Other universities will be invited. A lot of our friends from like A&M, UT, SMU will attend. Plus faculty, mentors, and the rest of the community. And they get to comment on our rocket. We want that to be as transparent as possible so that we can get input, because we're still learning engineers. We don't know what we don't know. So by simply just asking people what's wrong with our rocket, how can we improve before we even, lay down the first bit of carbon fiber, that's how we know. So once we finish preliminary design and we make those improvements to the game plan, we go into critical design review. That's where it's going to be mostly this club. We iterate on what we've learned, what we're going to be doing, and we have a new plan. Once critical design is done, we start manufacturing. So it sounds like it's going to take a while to get there, but this, as all things, plans change. If we get this rocket down soon, we can do critical design by mid fall. And as you will quickly learn in these various classes that you'll be taking, it's not as all crazy as it's cracked up to be. It's whenever you make a rocket and simulate it, it's actually not that hard. And then winter, early spring is fabrication and testing. And then mid-spring is quality control, and we'll be doing our Lone Star Cup flight then. And we'll see where we go from there. So that's gonna be a fun one. So the needs of this project are materials, composites, and metals. So we need people who are willing to learn or know composites, people who can machine parts. There'll be a lot of parts that will be needed. And one of the aspects of this is going to be CNC design or CAD design. So we need to create parts that are, great parts. That's going to be that's going to need a lot of people who know that stuff. So if you're still learning or if you're new to this is a great way to learn outside of a classroom. We have that amazing makerspace downstairs to work with. It's a lot of fun. Tooling. This is going to be an interesting one. There's a sub project attached to this project that before we can even start laying down the first bit of carbon fiber or fiberglass that we need to build, then we can build the composite, because it turns out we don't actually have a particular tool that's big enough. So we're going to make our own. So composite forms curing systems and manufacturing, 3D printing, CNC, manual machining, composite layups, molding, all of these crazy things. So as you can probably tell by now, I'm the guy who does most of the composite work, who leads that team. But there's more to it, like CNC. I'm not exactly the best at CNC. So if you know CNC, then that's your place. 3D printing, I think everybody at this point should know 3D printing. And most importantly, you. All of these things cannot happen without you. I'm quite busy. I admit this. I have a lot of work this semester. I'm in my senior year. I have no less than 4 projects going on for classes. Senior design, Mr. Summers' manufacturing class. I'm running one of the laboratories downstairs as an instructor. So without your help, this hot stepper will literally not ever come to life. So that's something is we need you to help us. So part of that attached project, as for mentioned, is a composite oven, or at least a heated cure chamber. Doesn't have to be a very hot system. It just needs to cure at raised temperatures. So down in the composites lab, if you've ever seen the advanced composites lab, there's a bunch of ovens in there, but they're not big enough because we're working with 6-inch diameter tubes that are 4 or 5 feet long. There's literally no oven on campus that's that big enough to do a heat cure of that part to make sure it's to get the strength and properties we want. So we're going to build our own. It's going to be very simple. It's going to be it's going to be a box with foam, with maybe a temperature controller for fancy, and some stuff to blow air around. It's pretty simple, but that's going to be a nice little project. So if you have like woodworking experience, if you know how to use insulation and you know how to use a screwdriver, come work with us. That's something we're gonna need being done. So that sounds pretty simple. That's one of the attached projects. Now for the next one, I'm going to switch this over to Paul. So if you want to stand up and talk about it.
All right. Howdy, y'all. I didn't actually get told what to say on this, so I'm going to do a whole bunch of off-the-cuff stuff. But real quick, I am Paul Henson. I've been with this club for about 3 years, 2 of which I spent as an officer. I'm now in my last semester, so I stepped away from all of that. Now I am pursuing specifically projects. I am an electrical and computer engineering focused major. Since I'm a senior, I've got most of the stuff needed to do all that stuff down. So basically tunneling into this actual project is what's going to be happening. I wanted to see around the room, how many of y'all are in comp sci or electrical engineering with computer engineering focus? Just show hands. Oh my gosh, this is insane.
This is Christmas to him.
Previous turnout has been like 90% mechanical engineers. So this is incredible. Any of you who are interested in having an actual practical application to put on a resume, come talk to me. This project is basically, we're going to be putting a module that's going to live in one of our rockets. I don't know exactly which one, but we'll probably test flight on a couple. But a module that will live in a rocket that will collect flight data as it goes up. That being air pressure, GPS location, gyro and compass, so orientation and whatnot, basically so we can reconstruct the flight after it's flown, so we can get basically debug information for rockets. Really quick, want to talk about my personal experience as electrical and computer engineering focus. It took me until my junior year to get into anything with microprocessors and to start actually like applying things. A lot of y'all, I show of hands out of the people who raised hands earlier. How many of you are freshmen or sophomores? Okay, that totally fine. It makes sense. You probably don't, and again, this is probably not going to apply to all of you, but a lot of you probably don't already have experience in, making microprocessors work. If you've messed with an Arduino or an ESP32, let me know right here.
Sorry for your loss.
This is incredible. Never mind. Okay, take it back. This is going to be awesome. If y'all want to work with me, let me know. We can get something on your resume.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun, and we have funding this year. Most importantly, we got funding from this school to continue on. So this is going to be a big year for us. So that's going to be that project. Talk to Paul if you want to be involved in that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then I'm going to hand it over to Pistol here.
So if you don't know anything about rocketry and you kind of wanted to join this club because, Tech State doesn't offer aerospace engineering, so the next best thing was like mechanical. I teach rocketry classes, so if you do want to stay in this club, and I highly recommend it because it looks really good on your resumes, I'm going to be teaching intro classes that basically go over what is rocketry, phases of flight, all the like integral parts of a rocket, so like all the nitty-gritty things that like you probably don't know. It's going to be about 3.5 classes. They're going to be, I'll talk about when they're going to be, but it's just going to be 3.5 classes. We're going to have a launch day. So at the third class, we are going to be building tiny little, like, Hobby Lobby bottle rockets, ones that you probably have flown when you were little kids. After we go over, like, what is a rocket, stuff like that, you'll be able to make one on your own, just to see, like, hey, how much have you learned? How much have you retained? Stuff like that. Just so, we can be like, okay, we taught a whole group of kids that like never knew what rocketry was. We taught them, and now we can put them on bigger, better projects like our Lone Star Cup project. I'll be also going over like nitty-gritty like legal stuff, which is why we're under Triple E and that organization. I'll be going over motor classes, so we can go over the like differences and like why we have motor classes, because that's probably pretty important. But
So next page is,
and they're going to be every Thursday at 4 p.m. in Ingram 4102. I will start classes on the 11th. So if you do want to come and join these classes, I recommend taking a picture of this, and I will be posting it in our Discord. If you're not already, I'll post it like a week before, and then a couple days before, and then day of. If 4 p.m. does not work for you, I will be recording the classes, and I will post them up somewhere just in case you're not able to make it. You have a class or something. I get an engineering, it's a lot of work. So you can always just go back and look at those, and I will post the slideshow at the end of all the classes, so you can go back, look at information, stuff like that. At the end of classes, I will be doing little Kahoots and stuff just for fun to keep you guys like see how much you retained. They'll be pretty short. They're only probably going to be about like an hour each, but they're not going to be bad.
okay. And we're going to taking that a step further, especially if you're a returning member or you already have like rocketry experience coming in from high school, like Systems Go or TARC, which is like the Team America Rocketry Challenge, stuff like that. I'm going to be doing an intro to the high-powered rocketry class. So this will be kind of a follow-up as well as a parallel course to Pistol's theory of rocketry course. So I fully recommend if you don't know anything about rockets, take her course first, and then you'll take my course if you feel like you're wanting to continue on that path. So we're going to be meeting about Fridays, 3 to 6 p.m. It's not going to be a 3-hour class. I just put that number there just to give us a range. So we can do what works best for everybody. I'll create like a when to meet on that day. But Friday should be quite open for everybody, I believe. I know I'm open. It's like the one day I have off. So this is going to begin on the 18th. So this way, at the very least, you guys can take Pistol's first session and kind of get that basics down. And then I fully recommend you continue with her class, and if you feel like you're confident to go for your level 1 certification, come to my class. So in that class, we will be covering the more like complex things. We'll be covering simulation, design work, CAD, and then this all wraps up. This all comes together for your level 1 certification. Your level 1 certification is your introduction to high-powered rocketry. That's where you can start buying the first high-powered rocket motors. And this is something we want to make sure that this club we can aim towards. We can aim towards making it as cheap as possible for members because it is an expensive hobby. I told you earlier we almost lost a $200 rocket case, and that was one of the smaller ones that we fly. We got an even bigger one just recently. So this we want to make sure that's as cheap as possible. As a rocket reload is $50, the casing is $100, stuff like that. So the way we avoid that, it may avoid making that cost go on to you guys, especially because we're all broke college students. I cut corners, not cut corners, but I try real my best to make sure I save money. Is we subsidize these costs for you as much as we physically can. So we have a certification fund thanks to a sponsor, where we went out and bought rocket motors in advance for certification attempts. We will buy things like tubes and we'll use the resources that are offered here in this college to build your rocket. So 3D printing, laser cutting, epoxy work, all this stuff can be done here to make a very cheap rocket. Because and you can go out and you can buy a level 1 capable kit for $150. But I did the math. I have a spreadsheet at my house. It says we can make a level 1 rocket that can fly to the same height at twice the speed for $35 or less per rocket. And that gets cheaper the more people who attempt it. That's something I want to do. I really want to break that record. I think the current record for Texas rocketry teams is 12 concurrent certifications in one day, one team. Let's go big. Let's do something new. Let's beat out. I think that team is UT Dallas. We can beat UT Dallas, guys. I mean, come on. So let's do that. All right. So simulation work, design and development work, and including an attempt for certification. Work. So these are kind of like the schedules. Take a picture of this if you want. We'll post this here on we'll post this on the Discord, in the Canvas. Yeah, we have a Canvas page. Eventually we do need to get our website back up. So if anybody here has web like front end development like skills, like can make a website, please reach out to us. We have a we actually do have a website. We just don't know how to run it. Again, how many engineering students does it take to screw in the light bulb? And yeah, so if you want to come help us with that, please come on by. So we have a classroom sessions Thursdays and Fridays, 4 to 6 p.m., 3 to 5 p.m. So you can see I just keep making up numbers as I go. We're gonna have the original room 4102. So before this week, before those posters went up, especially out in the halls, we were expecting no more than 25 people. So Ingram put us into the smallest room they could. And then I last night or yesterday at about like 2 p.m. I emailed the Ingram front office and said, "Holy shit, guys, we got like 80 people coming. What do we do?" And he said, "You can wait till 6:30. You can delay, and we can get you a bigger room." I'm like, "Okay, thank you." That's so. Obviously, I know some of y'all may not return, but if we need to move up to a bigger room, then we'll move up to a bigger room. And then this is something we're going to kind of roll over is general meetings. Every month or so, we'll have a physical in-person meeting. Nothing as fancy as this. It's where we talk about logistics and the boring nitty gritty. We kind of touch base and understand like what's everybody doing? How's it going? And alongside we have like online meetings in Discord, talk on Discord. We a few years ago we moved from group meetings and everybody knows group, right? It kind of sucks. So we moved to Discord just because it's there. It's free, most importantly to us. So location to be determined. This kind of is serving as our first general meeting anyway, as well as introduction. So that will be more on the side of we do them when we need, but generally expect them to be the second Tuesday of every month or so, or Friday of every month or whatever. So And then sub-team meets. So as you heard, we have a few sub-team projects going on. Paul's team, and then we're probably going to open up new sub-teams as we need for various specialties that you want to focus in. We'll see where that goes. There's no formal meeting time for those. It's like literally herding cats. And I know I have a cat, and herding her sucks. Um, so we have the sub team meets that just varies. That's where you just simply talk to your team lead and talk to your team lead, figure out a time and place to meet, and go from there. And so, of course, Discord's there, give phone numbers, talk wherever. So, is that the end of it? No, that was weird. So if you haven't already, go ahead and join our Discord. That's our primary communication. So if you have a Discord account, if not, again, I'll post this link. A bot will message you asking you like, can you fill out this form, yada yada yada. Basically, we do a system where to make sure you're actually a human, you're actually here in exit state, we add you to our Canvas site. And Canvas is great because we can assort you guys. If some of you guys here are already on our Canvas, that announcement button you can just press and announce like a full on give you an email type thing is wonderful. I'm going to abuse that more. It's a fun power to have. So oh god, I remember that is yeah. She's just currently watching the Discord light up with the amount of people joining.
It said we were getting raid.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was like, hey, unusual join activity. Might be raid.
That's great. That's how you know we've won.
I also got that.
Hold on. Oh, I got it too. Yeah. It says, yep. Could you email it to me?
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, you can join our Discord. That's, as you can tell, we just got like Discord panicking that we're getting raided. So, and now moving on to questions and answers. If you have any questions, ask it. This is a great place to ask. So, any questions?